Before we get started, there's a few things I would like to talk about. The first thing is having a second horse available to be tied up on the outside of the round pen. It doesn't necessarily have to be the mare. It can be any horse available at that time. In this case, it is my gelding, Taz. This would be helpful in many ways. One is it will give the foal confidence and help him to handle his fear and not be so nervous. Keeping the student comfortable is a great way to keep an open mind. Second, and most important, is movement. Keep in mind you are working with a baby, and if you work him as hard as a full-grown horse, you will damage his legs. So keep the speed slow and focus more on his mind than his lungs. So with that in mind, let's get started. There is one thing that you have to have in horse training, and that is movement. So the first thing we are going to do is establish a go-forward cue. Your body position is extremely critical in teaching this go-forward cue. If you picture your legs on a horse, they're going to come straight down right behind the girth. So that imaginary line, you picture where your leg is on that horse, and you run that straight out. And if you pass that, you know you're restricting movement. So behind that line, you have to stay behind that line and drive forward, push forward. Here, we're going to work on a change of direction in the round pen. Doesn't matter how he changes, just that he changes direction. If you notice my body position, I'm staying behind the hip and driving him forward. My focus is always on the hip. There I push his nose outside and change directions. Again, staying behind the hip, always driving him forward. Here, I'm moving to the left, giving him a chance to change directions. Walk back behind the hip, drive the hip forward again. It is extremely important to keep the forward movement in the horse. Here he stopped going forward, so I instantly get back there, drive him forward. Move off to the left and get a change and drive his hip forward. Again, I don't care how he changes at this point, just a change of direction. Now we're going to work on changing directions inside, only allowing him to turn inside. By doing this, I'm taking a step away from him, trying to pull his nose toward me, and then drive him through. Here I'll step to the left, inside. If he tries to turn outside, I'll drive him back forward and ask again. There he turned inside, I'll let him go. I'll follow his hip around, keep him moving forward. Here I'll step away and drive him forward. Now here he wants to turn outside, so I'll push him. If he kicks out, just drive him back forward. There he's going to turn outside, I'll correct him and ask again. I'll drive him forward, step away from him. There he makes a mistake, drive him forward, and then ask again until his nose comes toward me, then slowly drive him through the turn, giving him the answer that that was what you want him to do. There he turned inside. Now the horse is going to start coming onto a little quicker. There he turned inside. So as soon as I take a step away from him, he should automatically be thinking inside.